Hello, what's up, YouTube family? This is Sheridan, and this is my channel, All Things Business, where we talk about everything from motherhood, entrepreneurship, and just everything that encompasses being a business owner. So, today we're going to get right into it. Today, I want to talk about 5 things that help you remain authentic to yourself and your brand. I know that in today's society, we are bombarded with social media. Social media is the culprit of us thinking that we have to be this grand, lux, aesthetically pleasing entrepreneur, that we are never to see, the bottom, or we're never to have a hard time or a bad day. That's so not true. So not true. I see so many entrepreneurs on social media, and of course, I too get caught up in a lot of, oh my God, maybe I should look like this to attract this type of client base. Maybe I should dress like this. Maybe I should be this way. But I have to then reel myself back in and understand that there's a tribe that will appeal to me and I will appeal to them. And I have to, get myself back into the mindset that, Sheridan, this is not who you are. You are authentically you. And having to come into my more divine feminine self within the last, few years, a it's been a challenge, but then again, it's been a rewarding experience. A lot of the things that I've learned about myself definitely has come from trial and error, and definitely has come from me viewing the world the way I want the world to view me. And the way that I want the world to view me is authentic to myself. And I had to learn myself. I had to learn myself a lot within these last few years. And in these last few years, I've learned I like me. So we're going to get into a lot more of the 5 things that are, ways that you can stay authentic to yourself and authentic to your brand. And a lot of those things, encompasses you as a person, who you see yourself as, how you want to show up, how you want to present yourself, and how you just want the world to know what you are about, what your business is about, and just all things you, right? So, um, a personal antidote that I have about me and my journey is that I showed up very insecure. I showed up very prideful. I showed up very stubborn in my earlier years as a entrepreneur. I showed up very fearful because I also showed up as a people pleaser. I'm a retired people pleaser. So if you're a retired people pleaser, congratulations to you also. But I showed up as those things because I thought that the world wanted to see me like this, and that if I showed up like that, I would be liked. If I was liked, I would make the money. If I make the money, I could actually buy the things and create the lifestyle that I was, wanting to present myself as. But I soon come to realize that that just wasn't working for me. And not only that, God showed me that I could not live a false persona and serve Him. Whew. I wanted the American dream, you know, persona, lifestyle, personality. I wanted this so bad. Oh my God, I wanted it so bad. And I just realized that I couldn't serve two masters. I could not serve the world, and I could not serve God and believe that I could show up the way the world wanted me to, be seen, and then also show up the way I truly wanted God to see me. My antidote for showing up authentically in my journey, I was choosing the path that God was giving to me, and really knowing that, God, I'm gonna have to serve you. I can't serve the world. So, um, First thing you have to know, you have to know your core value. You have to know your core value. I did not know my core value. I did not even know I had a core value. It wasn't until I think I was in therapy. And as I'm in therapy, I'm looking at what my therapist is presented to me and what I was presented to myself. And I'm sitting in front of my therapist. She's licensed, she's trained. Even though I owned a behavioral health agency and I've gone through, a lot of the trainings, I actually was in the progress of getting my LPC license and I decided, I didn't really want to pursue that. But I'm sitting before her and I'm like, I want to show you that I am valuable. And she was like, Sheridan, what do you really value about you? I'm showing you I really did not know. I did not know what my core value was. I did not know that I actually could have a core value. I did not know that my core value mattered. Growing up in a very chaotic household, growing up in a household that did not value feelings, did not express emotions, did not care about, conversations of values, I did not know that that existed. So with it, I, wanted to let my therapist know at that time that I don't know. I do not know what a core value is. I do not know how to define my core value. But when I come back to the next session, I'll have that for you. And of course, leaving that session and going to go, do some shadow work, do some self reflecting, it was like, I don't have a core value. I don't even know how to value myself. So being able to define your core value and what matters about you the most will help you be as authentic to yourself and your brand on your entrepreneurial journey. Another thing that I can admit to now, I couldn't admit to it at first because I was embarrassed by it. And I think I was more so ashamed that I did not know how to align my true brand message. And I did not know how to present that to my true audience because I felt that if I created this character, then I would be able to present my false self to them. They would like my false self, and then they would do business with my false self. And that brand was I was this, this personality of I was the it girl. I was always popular in school from elementary up to high school. And it was always, I was always the it girl. But I never internally felt like the it girl. Even though I was one of the most popular girls in my schools, I hung out with the underdogs. I hung out with the, those the less popular. And I hung out with them because internally that's how I really felt. I felt that way, but I also had a compassion within me that, hey, I know what I look like and I know that I have this status, but you guys are actually cool because you are true to yourselves. And I really, gravitated towards it. But going back to my business, it was I can't let them know that I actually like the nerdy stuff. I can't let them know that I actually like being in a more grounded community because I was always seen as this it girl, popular girl status. So I never aligned my true brand with my true mission and my true self. Now, at this stage of life, I am more grounded in who I am and I'm more grounded in my message. I am honest about my brand now. I am the it girl. I am a girl of status. I am who I have been all along, but I am now more free to admit the in crowd, the social circles. I do not want to hang with them. I do not care to be a part of it. I genuinely like being a part of communities that are authentic to who they are. They are grounded. They are, nerdy. I love it. So now my message is this is what I am gifted and talented in and what I'm capable of doing, but this is also how I present myself. There are days that I dress up, I'm really pretty, I'm really, and then there are days you're gonna catch me in a t-shirt and some sweats. But one thing about it, I'm always presenting myself as a woman who has a certain criteria, a certain standard, and a certain presentation about myself. So that's, how I've learned to align my brand and my message with my value of myself. Another thing that I will say, and this is, tip two in being authentic to yourself, is to be transparent. I did not know transparency could get you into doors, rooms, and buildings that you would not be able to fathom of being. And I have learned that people love transparency. I have always been able to be in rooms with multimillionaires, people of high status. I've always been able to be in those rooms. And a lot of times I've been able to be in those rooms because of my work ethic, because of my skills, my talents, and just my abilities to be able to navigate through conversations and different cultures. I've always been able to be in certain rooms. But being in those rooms, I was also able to gain friendships, partnerships, and just networks because believe it or not, a lot of times those individuals who are of high status and especially high financial status, they love transparency. They love the fact that if you are a person who says a cuss word every three, words, you are a person who crack jokes. They are very much appreciative of transparency, and that has been the way that I've been able to navigate through life with that circle and that affluence of people and that energy. I've been able to be transparent. But the craziest thing is that I come from a very lower socioeconomic community, right? And the way that I grew up was one of the ways that you probably see it on TV. You ever seen the movie? I mean, not the movie, the FX show, Snowfall. Like that, literally was my family members, my upbringing, my community, my area. Yeah. um, and I never fully fit in. Of course, I grew up in that community. I thrived in that community. I was protected in that community. I was respected in that community. However, I never looked the part of that community. I never looked the part. I have certain behaviors, I have certain characteristics, things that I've definitely had to work on. And I realized that although I come from this environment, although I can be my true self and transparent self with these individuals, I could not take that and translate it into who I was in my entrepreneurial community, my business community. And I used to be afraid that if people knew where I come from and my background, that they would not like me. They would not want to work with me. So I was ashamed of where I came from, what I, grew up in and grew up around. And I was like, I can't let people know this. So I tried so hard to hide that part of myself. But when I realized that being transparent and being myself and understanding that my scars, my bruises, my background, my upbringing was all a true part of myself, I've become more grounded in being transparent that this is the reason why I have the talents, the gifts, and the experience of life because of where I came from. So being able to go into more affluent circles and communities and things of that nature, they love the fact that I can bring my upbringing, my struggle upbringing, and bring all of that culture over into a different environment. And yet I still can present myself in a very professional and very effective and, efficient way that allows me to still gain trust, partnerships, and network with this more affluent, community. So being transparent has allowed me to bridge two cultures, two environments, multiple cultures, and allowed me to make friends, money, and business in different areas. And that transparency has really done well for me. Being honest is something that I pride myself on, let alone, being a Virgo, they always joke about Virgos. We can detect a lie. We can detect a lie. And I have learned that honesty with more affluent and also just anybody has gained me more access and respect than anything. Not only that, just having, the benefits of honesty from that perspective, being an honest person in business gain you more notoriety and more business than ever. Why? Because if you know that you can trust me, I've had it to where there have been times I could have taken advantage of a lot of circumstances and situations. And of course, I could have made a substantial amount of money. But when I see people who do not know, even though I know this and I know I can make the money, I would rather teach it to you and I would rather you know it and know the truth about your situation that you're paying me for or contracting with me. I would rather teach it to you. And that in itself has allowed me to gain more business and more clients because people trust me. They trust that, Sheridan, you could have made money off of me, but you chose to teach me, tell me the truth, and help me understand where I, am my shortcomings are. And the thing about that, people trust me more. I get more business. I make more money. Even still, they're still willing to pay me because it's a convenience that they don't care to do. So that honesty gains me more business and it gains me more money. Another thing, um, being transparent has also brought me struggles, and being honest has brought me struggles with certain communities. A lot of times you can be so transparent and so honest that certain communities and certain groups do not like you being so transparent and honest. I have run into contractors or circumstances and businesses and things of that nature. Even clients, I've turned clients away because I'm like, no, they are wanting me to be underhanded. They're wanting me to be dishonest, and I just simply refuse. And so when I refuse to be dishonest, when I refuse to abide by dishonest practices and do not, want to deal with that client or do not want to take their money, a lot of times it's not accepted, and then of course I get the slander on my name. I get people saying, things that aren't true. But I learned that I have to accept everybody does not like my honesty. And I have to be okay with it. So being okay with knowing you do not, you have values. You have a core value, and everybody's not gonna like your honesty. It's okay. You will find the people that do like your honesty, and you'll still make money. You'll still get clients. You do not have to be dishonest in business. I tell any and everybody, business is transactional. It's transaction of energy, it's transactional of time, it's transactional of money, it's transactional of effort. So, in all of those things, business is transactional. Do you want to transact honesty or dishonesty? Because if you choose to do dishonest business, you're going to continue to do dishonest business, and you're going to continue to attract dishonest people. And when you attract dishonest people, you attract loss, you attract suffrage, you attract all things negative. But if you choose to do business honestly, then you attract honest people, you attract honest business, you attract honest money, you attract honest opportunities. So it's up to you. But the struggle of me in my early years of my entrepreneurial journey was I knew how to make money. I knew how to make money fast, and I was going to make money however I could make money because the environment I grew up in, that was the culture. Dishonesty, fast paced, hustle mentality, social Darwinism. So I've learned that if I do honest work, for me, God has given me tenfold every time I choose to do honest work. Not only that, He'll grant me opportunities and grant me accesses to things and places and people that I probably never would have encountered had I chose to be dishonest in my business practice. Tip 3, I want to say stay true to your voice. I did not know my voice. In the early stages of entrepreneurship, like I mentioned, I did not know I had a core value. I did not know my voice. I did not know my voice at all. And I was following everybody else's voice and speaking energetically in other people's voices because that's what I wanted to mimic myself after. I remember my mom was not a feminine woman. She was not a woman that dressed up. She was not a woman that put on makeup. She really didn't present herself as a woman that wanted to be seen or a woman that wanted to be heard. She only presented herself as loud, had this masculine energy. She was rude, she was abrasive, she was brash, she was all of those things I did not want to be. So I remember growing up, coming from the South, we grew up, of course, in the church. And my first lady, she was just this lady that was always dressed up. She was always, respected. She had people following her, listening to her, and she was a very great speaker. I remember watching her and I said, I want to imitate her. I want to imitate her voice and her persona. I also had a friend who had a mom. Her mom was like the greatest. She's still now in her 60s and she's still, dressing, going out. And I would see how her mom would, lean into her. And I, at that point too, I said if I ever had kids, I would mimic myself after her. So that was that voice that I used. I began to realize that if I found people that I could pull from, and I found everybody's voice but my own. Now, granted, these were women that gave me more positive attributes and learning how to be more feminine, but I did not find my voice. It wasn't up until, I would say honestly, a few years ago that I truly found my voice. And my voice was, I love to be in the midst of people. And in the midst of these people, I love to teach. I love to teach. I love to help. I love to serve. And in that, I found my voice that this is me speaking in love, in service, and in teaching. So my voice became my own. And I am now in a space that I want to share my voice, hence me doing YouTube. One of the prayers I prayed was, God, help me use my voice for your will. Place your voice in me that when I begin this YouTube channel, you allow your voice to speak to the people that need to hear what you have to say through me. So even though I've found my voice, I feel that my brand has to be a true, authentic brand that embodies the spirit of God. It has to. And I've done business in all ways that I grew up in. And I have yet to reap long term benefits. Everything was shortcoming. I've made some money. Your girl has made some money. Your girl has blown some money too. So I have learned that my voice carries. I'm only 5'3", and when I speak, I've been able to walk into places and I can silence a room. And knowing that I can do that because I grew up seeing my male relatives be so dominant and then having a mom that had more masculine dominant energy, I learned that my voice was powerful, but it was also damaging. And being able to see that and being able to know that, okay, God, you gave me this voice and I can use it for power or I can use it for bad. I realized that I decided I wanted to use my voice for good, my power, and to help bring you all, all things business on this channel. So finding your voice and finding who you are, how you speak, how you can command people to receive what you are selling, what you are doing in business is a very powerful thing. Um, you want to create a business, you want to create an environment, you want to create an audience, you want to create a service that has your voice and has your brand that's very true and authentic to yourself. I can, when I get upset, oh, I can say some things. I know my voice can get very deep. It can get very cold. It can get very demanding and it gets very scary. I laugh at, sometimes I intentionally say something and my kids, they scatter. They was, I mean, bedroom doors get to closing. I don't see them for hours. And I'm like, good. I just wanted some peace and quiet. I wasn't even really mad. But in relationships, in friendships, I realized the difference of my voice and the pattern and the nature of how I carry my voice in my communication has allowed me to either heal. It has allowed me to destroy, tear down. It has allowed me to grow. It has allowed me to manifest. It has allowed me to do things in my entrepreneurial journey. And for that, I'm grateful. So finding your most authentic voice within yourself would be the best thing for you on this journey, because a lot of times it just depends on how you want to be heard, and how you want to be heard can be loud, brash, and abrasive, or it can be very direct and aggressive and assertive, or it can be timid, scared, and a way that you just know you're not true to yourself. So finding your voice has definitely been a main factor. So find your voice. You know what you need to say. Tip 4. Tip 4, you have to engage with your audience. And one thing about me, I was social, but I was not as open. I'll say it like that. I wanted people to see me. I did not want them to really hear me because I grew up with books. I grew up with boys, and I grew up with a mom that never really interacted with me. So I felt that if I overexerted myself physically, if I people pleased, if I over gave, then that was me engaging with my audience, but I really was tearing myself down and wearing myself out. So I never really knew how to engage and interact with people because I never had people to really engage and interact with. I was a person that had friends, but I had friends at school. When I got home, even up to now, I have friends, but I don't have friends. So learning to engage with people and the audience of people that I wanted to get as customers, clients, or just my, consumer base, I struggled with it. I struggled with it and I was afraid. I was afraid again, going back to what I mentioned, that if you knew where I came from, if you knew what I grew up in, if you knew what, the traumas that I endured, then you would judge me. So I didn't necessarily want to engage with my audience. I didn't want them to really see the real me. I wanted them to see the made up me. So I never really engaged, but now just yesterday I was working with a new client, and she was just like, Sheridan, I trust everything that you're doing, and I'm so grateful for you. And she's showing me her babies, and I'm talking to the babies on the phone, and I'm like, hey niece. So I've learned that people love connection. People love that, they can have that connection with you, especially whatever service you are providing for them. They want to know that they can trust you. So now at this stage of life, I engage wholeheartedly with my clients. I engage with them because we family at this point. You're gonna pay me, but we are definitely family. So engaging with your audience and building genuine relationships, being able to say that you know me. Here's the most authentic part of me. You know me. Of course, there's, intimate parts of me and parts that I have based off of the relationships that I have. But you, as my client, I've learned you and I am genuinely engaged with you. I love that about me. I love that for me. Another part of engaging with your audience is encouraging them, feedback, and being open to discussions. One thing you can do, you can constructively criticize me. I am well okay with it. A lot of people shun away from being criticized. Me, I'm like, girl, what you think I could do better? How you think I can do this better? Because you learn how to become a better entrepreneur, a better business owner, a better, greater at your gift and your task. If you are open to that constructive criticism, if you are open to that feedback, when you're engaging with your audience or your clients or whatever, your business type is, when you are genuinely engaging with them and asking for that feedback, asking for, what do you think about that? Asking for, if that constructive criticism come in, you learn the most on how to grow and scale your business when you build that genuine, effective relationship with them. So for me, like I mentioned, she on the phone with her babies, and I'm, oh, I want to see you next time I see her, and I'm going to go see her. If I meet her at her business, or if I meet her at her home because I have to pick up some files, I'm going to go get me a hug from that little chunky baby that she has, because I love babies. I love to give them back. But because I've grown that relationship with her, she and I now are on like we cousins at this point. Even though she's my client. So engaging authentically with your audience, letting them know I'm here, I'm human, and I am ready to be of service to you genuinely, that will take you a long way. Tip 5, embrace imperfection. Oh my God, this was hard for me. Embracing imperfection. I am a Virgo. I do not know what imperfection mean. I only know what perfection. It has to be perfect. It has to be in order. It has to be structured. It has to be meticulously in this place. Let alone being diagnosed with ADHD and OCD. Your girl just be all over the place. So if you say embrace imperfection, I'm going to speak from my experience, but my Virgo experience says no, we're perfect. But in my earlier years of entrepreneurship, your girl was just all raggedy. I mean, raggedy all over the place, and everything was imperfect. But I refused to let that be true. Oh my God. I literally woke up one day in the emergency room, and I had to get the IVs. I had to take a break. I had to step away from my business for a few weeks because I almost took myself out because I wanted everything to be perfect. It could not fail. I could not allow it to fail. I could not have the that no, it couldn't fail. It had to be perfect. Even though I knew I was driving myself almost in the ground, I could not step back. I could not let go. I could not be perfect. For one, I was running from my traumas. For two, I knew that I could not go back home. I could not go back to my home state. I could not let them think that they won and they had the better of me. So everything had to be perfect. And I almost took myself out. So embracing imperfection at this age and stage of life, look, did you die? Are you breathing? Is it still working? Done. I have learned it. I have learned to embrace I'm not perfect. Nothing will be perfect. I will not always have a successful business. I will have ebbs and flows in my business. I will have ebbs and flows in my life. So, embracing the imperfect side of myself has definitely been a challenge. It has also been one of the things that I strongly have to work with daily. But embracing that I know what I'm doing. I know that I am showing up my most authentic self. I know that I am putting all of my best effort in. I know that I, at any given moment, can have this taken from me. So I choose to embrace the good. I choose to embrace the bad. I choose to embrace the stillness. It took me a while, but I learned to embrace it. And when you learn to embrace that, there are going to be the ebbs and flows of business. There are going to be good days. There are going to be bad days. And there are going to be days you just standing there like, what in the entire? You will then learn that you have made it. You have made it in entrepreneurial success. And you know how if you have kids and you grew your kids up and now they're teenagers, my son is, edging towards 18. And I'm like, your girl has successfully accomplished life. I have gotten this child from the struggle days, and now he's, getting ready to get on the college campus, and you're like, success. It was not perfect, But your girl has gotten there, and we are now almost on college. So I learned to embrace the imperfection of life. It happens, life be life, and but your girl just life through it, right? Another thing with it, sharing moments of imperfections and the lessons learned. I wanted to make like my life was perfectly in order, and it was a true chaotic whirlwind. And I mean chaotic whirlwind. And I started to pray, God, you have to deliver me from my chaotic mind state. Because I grew up in chaos, it was easy for me to function in chaos. I could get into chaos or a complex situation and I could function. I mean, I can function. I can go, 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 go. And as of late, in the years past, God began to strip that chaos from me. He began to strip that dysfunction from me. He began to allow me to see how to function wholly, how to operate in peace, how to operate in stillness and just the calmness of life. And because I've been able to do that, I've been able to see that life is going to be what you make it. Not only that, life is going to life and it's going to happen. So when people ask me about the things that I've learned in business, I've learned so much and I am not embarrassed by anything. I would tell people I've made such amount of money and I've blown such amount of money. And in that, a lot of times entrepreneurs won't tell the truth. They'll, oh, I got this and I got that. And then, once they get from in front of people, they are in such a chaotic and turmoil state that they don't know how to go ask for help. Me, your girl, like, look, I just lost $500,000 and I'm ready to throw hands with something. Anybody scream, shout, but I'm not ashamed anymore because those were my lessons. Those were things that taught me how to become more sound of mind and how to learn that there are going to be days where I win and there are going to be days when I lose. And not only that, it's not going to always be perfect. So for me, embracing the imperfection, that's gonna always be a thing that you'll be able to say, okay, I got it. I got it. I'm not gonna always win. It's not gonna always look good. It's not gonna always feel good, but at least I got it. So just to recap of the five things or the five ways um, to stay authentic to yourself and your business is know your core value. Know your core value interview. Um, be transparent. Always be transparent. Always be transparent to the point that people have to see I can't get over on her, and she's gonna always let me know the truth about where I stand with her. That's in business, that's in personal, all of them. Stay true to your voice. It's number three. Stay true to your voice. Let your voice carry the weight of your character. Let your voice carry the weight of your character because a lot of times what you say is always it's going to be remembered. People are going to remember you based off what you say and how you say it. So let your voice carry your character. Engage with your audience. It's okay to be friendly. It's okay to be genuine. A lot of the time people are looking for genuine conversation. A lot of times you never know it. You might be ministering to somebody and you just being your honest and authentic self and you just being genuine and you're able to connect with this person. And then there you go, you're entertaining a multimillionaire and they're willing to hire you because you were true to your voice and yourself. Remained it. Number four, engage with your audience. And then number five, embrace imperfection. Embrace it. It's okay. It's life. It's life. It's okay. So, if you have enjoyed these 5 things, I am glad that I can give you some tips to be able to stay authentic to yourself and to your purpose, your path in life, and on this entrepreneurial journey. And I hope that I can bring you more in depth wisdom and in depth things that allow you to grow on this journey and to let you know that you are not alone on this journey. You are not by yourself. You have a community. It's us. We're here. You can contact me. You can inbox me. All of those things. You are not on this journey alone. And I am right here with you. And at this point, we're cousins. So I see you at the cookout, cousin. And I want you to like, subscribe, and share if you like this video. Bye, y'all.